Now, does anyone fancy a dirty girl? Scratch that, I didn't mean that, I meant a muddy girl. In front of me, I've got the Kral Arms N-01, and it's in the Muddy Girl camouflage stock. What can I say about this rifle? Well, Andy at theGunlocker said, you know what, Mark, you really should review this rifle, it might surprise you. And I have to say, my daughter was with me at the time, and she kind of pressured me into it. So here we go, we've got the Muddy Girl. Hope you enjoy this part one of the two-part review. Okay, so yeah, a little bit different this one. It's a Springer, and I haven't done a Springer for a while, so I thought, you know what, why not? And joking aside, although saying that, it really was quite difficult for me to pick this rifle up off the stand. It's not my thing. You know, what can I say? Personally, don't get me wrong, it's just pink isn't my colour, and should pink be on a rifle? No. but that is just me. My daughter disagrees. Everybody else thinks I'm really a little bit OTT about it, but you know, what can I say? That's just me. So, trying to get my mind away from the garish camo, the Muddy Girl camouflage. What have we got in front of us? Well, this is a 2.2. It's sub 12 foot-pound, produced by Kral. And I'm not going to go into Kral's history because I've already done that on my previous videos. So if you want to find out a little bit about them, you know, check those out. We have got actually. And I'm trying to look past the camouflage, but actually we've got a pretty well put together budget rifle. And by budget, I mean this rifle comes in at, or is being sold by the GunLocker for £179.99. So just a penny short of £180. But you don't just get the rifle for that. You get a really nice gun bag. You get this Conus 3-9 by, what is it, 3-9 by 32 Conus fire scope. You get a box of pellets, they're marksman pellets in here. Obviously I'm assuming they're instructions that are wrapped around it. I don't know, I've not opened up the package. There's a Conus lens cloth, and there's an Allen key here for actually, you know, fitting or mounting the scope to the rifle. 180 quid. What do I think? Well, I've not shot it yet. Andy has said to me, you know, give it a go, because to be fair, they're not bad. They're not bad. So I don't know. I'll have to let you guys know in part two what my thoughts are. But initially, when I shoulder the rifle, it's not heavy, but it's actually nicely balanced. There's the balance point. So it's just under the front mount point here. Yeah, it's actually it's quite nice. I've got to say, slimline, but the stock being synthetic, it doesn't feel. I mean, it doesn't feel plasticky. Yeah, but I'll go into that in a little bit more detail, in a few minutes. So let's just go through what I normally do. Let me give you some technical specifications. This is taken off of Kral's website, and of course no manufacturer is giving us sub 12 foot-pound figures, so I'll have to give you those figures in the part 2 of this review. But what have we got? So Kral Arms N-01, it's a spring piston rifle, brake barrel obviously. I've told you what it comes with, and what do we got? Okay, so it's available. Actually, to be fair, you know, you've got this garish pink camouflage, but it's also available in black, in arboreal, which is basically almost like a dark beach stock, very similar in effect to this BSA R10. So you're going to have the kind of the natural wood colour and then a darker end to it. I might just pop up an image on screen so you can see what's going on. And that R10 is actually up for reviews, so you'll be seeing that one shortly. It's also available in Cerakoted BO. Again, that's like quite a garish camouflage colouring. And then you've got this Muddy Girl. It's the actual chassis is all made out of steel, and that only comes in the black, so you can't have that Cerakoted unless of course you have that privately done. Calibers, well, it's available in 0.177, 0.22 and 0.25. And then with regards to energy, the 0.177, 0.22 are kicking out 12.17 foot-pound or 16.5 joules, and the 0.25 is kicking out 14.01 foot-pound or 19 joules. Speeds or velocity, well, for the 0.177 you're getting 800 feet per second or 243 meters per second. In the 2.2 you're getting 550 feet per second or 167.68 meters per second, and then the 2.5 is kicking out 500 feet per second or 152.44 meters per second. So it'll be interesting to see what they've actually kind of reduced that down to with a sub 12 foot-pound. I can't see there being much difference in that. It'll be interesting to find out though. And whether it keeps its accuracy as well, that's going to be quite, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to testing it. I've got to say I am. Still struggling with the pink, but you know, I'm looking forward to testing it. Right, so the scope rail on top is an 11mm dovetail rail. And what else have we got here? The safety is manual. Now, bugbear, absolutely hate safeties within the trigger guard. In my mind, too close to the trigger. And again, it's on a budget rifle, guys. So, you know, you're talking about quite often it's going to be novices that are buying rifles like this, or people that are entering the sport because of the price point. And to have a safety so close to the trigger with, you know, with individuals that aren't experienced, in my mind, it's just wrong. Get that safety out of there. It doesn't have to be within the trigger. Just get it out. Right, what else can I tell you? So, weight, it's actually not heavy. It's 2.9 kilograms or 6.3 pounds. So, you know, it's okay. I think for a junior, it'll still be a little bit heavy for them, but it's balanced nicely. You rest it on a bench, and I think it'll perform well. Carry it around all day in the field, and you're not going to be tired. So, yeah, it's a good all-round weight, I think. Make sure I don't drop it. Right, what else have we got to say? So its total length is 1,150 millimeters, or 45.28 inches, and that's same for all calibers. The center of balance is actually, as I say, quite a way forward. It's roughly here, and that is 510 millimeters from the butt, or 20.08 inches. And then finally, the reach from the butt to the trigger is 355 mil, or 13.98 inches. Now, the barrel itself, well, that's made in-house by Kral, rifled, and I've had a look down, I've shone a light down it, and it's polished. So I will obviously run some cleaning jags through it and just see how much dirt's in there, or whether there's any residual manufacturer's grease. Just clean that out properly before I shoot it. But the nice thing with break barrels is that, you know, these barrels are really easy to access. Unlike some of the PCPs where you're trying to feed the cable in through a very, very tight breech, there's no problem at all with these. The barrel length itself is 450 millimeters, or 17.72 inches, and it's a little bit deceiving because although you've got this, now we're going to call it an open sight on the end, and it's taking the shape of a muzzle brake, or a muzzle weight, should I say. The barrel finishes about here. The barrel finishes about where my finger is there. So you have this void. Why it's there, I have no idea. You know, they could afford to take that 50 mil off. But it is what it is. It's all part and parcel of the design feature, I suppose. And the barrel wall thickness, well, you can see it's not shrouded. So taking the diameter of the barrel and then taking away from that the actual bore, it leaves you with a thickness of 2.08 millimeters, or 0.08 of an inch. So it's not on the thin side. I think it's just adequate. Obviously it's been tested by Kral, they're happy with it. I can't see it deflecting in any way. Yeah, so it should be okay. Obviously there's nothing else with the rifle. That's it. What you see is what you get. It's very simple. I wouldn't expect much more for the money. Take specs out of the way. I've obviously rated the rifle as I normally do, scores out of 5 stars, and I'm covering the likes of aesthetics, ergonomics, build quality, and safety design. And again, guys, this is all my personal opinion. It's based on my experience with the rifle. I've not taken it apart. It's new. I don't want to risk damaging these, and I don't think that's right. So I'm looking at the rifle from the outside. And with regards to aesthetics, again, very, very personal opinion. All joking aside, you know, I quite like the form of the rifle. I like the way it looks. It's got some nice detailing, actually. It's got some very nice checkering to the grip. It's got some nice kind of embossed details on the forend here, and it makes it very, very grippable. It's not going to slip in your hand at all. Yeah, I like it, and it looks okay for a break barrel. There's nothing really to fall out with. So with regards to scoring it out of 5 stars for aesthetics, I've actually given it 3.5 out of 5 stars. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Now, the ergonomics is where it's really going to let itself down, because obviously you can't do much with this. It is what it is. And those of you that have seen my previous reviews will know, for me, ergonomics is all about how adaptable the rifle is to the end user. You can't do much with this. So I don't expect to have a high score on it. And with regards to the stock, out of a possible 24 points, it only scored 9, and for the metalwork, out of a possible 30, it only scored 6. But let's go through the stock. So obviously we've got an ambidextrous butt, We've got an ambidextrous cheek piece, we've got an ambidextrous grip, and we've got checkering on that grip. We've also got the ability for multi-hand positions, and you can, I mean, okay, it's like a semi-pistol grip. It means that you can wrap your hand around it quite nicely because it's not too bulbous. You can go for a thumbs up if you want to. You know, however you want to shoot this gun, however you want to place your thumb, you can do. There's nothing in the way and nothing that's going to cause you discomfort. So for me, you know, it's a nice, very simple but effective grip. Obviously you've got the forend checkering or embossing, should I say. And is it resistant to weather and impact? Yeah, absolutely. That's a solid bit of kit. It's not going to get damaged by rain. If it gets muddied up, literally, you can wash it. So yeah, it's all right. But there's no other adjustability, so it's going to score quite low, unfortunately. But that's just the nature of the beast. With regards to the metalwork, obviously we've got open sights and we've got fibre optics in there. You've got red on the end sight there, and you've got an adjustable rear sight for windage and for elevation, and that's got, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got some green kind of fibre optics in there as well. So that just makes it a lot easier to line up your sights. The one thing that I will say, although the rifle comes with a scope, the scope has got low mounts, and when you're looking through the scope, you can actually make out the sights, the open sights through the scope. It's a little bit kind of distracting, and it also makes it very evident that when you move your head slightly left or right on top of the cheek piece to line yourself up with a scope, there is a parallax issue. So you kind of, in one way, it makes you position your head properly, so it's all down the same line. But if you're slightly off, then that front sight there will look as if it's either to the left or to the right. Maybe it's a good thing actually for newbies, for people coming into the game, to actually learn how to hold a rifle properly. I don't know, maybe it is. For me, when it comes to testing it, I am going to take this scope off and I'm going to put my CP on it, just because, you know, for an accuracy test, I want to have the right equipment. And, you know, I'm not knocking the Kona scope. I just prefer the reticle, and I prefer the features of my other scope. So what does it actually have? Well, it's got the open sights, it's got the fibre optics, it's got scope rails, so obviously 11mm dovetail rail there. Cocking is actually easy. As with all of these, just give them a little bit of a knock and it breaks quite nicely. Doesn't take a lot of effort to do that. So, and it's sensible. And I suppose at the end of the day, this added feature they've got at the end of the barrel just gives you a little bit more grip when you're breaking the barrel. What else we've got? So the safety is within easy reach, but it's within that trigger guard. So, you know, I don't like it for that. So unfortunately, because of the low scores, the stock has been graded 2.5 out of 5 stars. The metalwork, because there's nothing else that you can do with it, it's only got 1 out of 5 stars. Again, this is all about ergonomics. Don't forget that. Please do not allow you to detract from how it performs, because if it shoots well, you know, if it's consistently accurate, then it doesn't need all those other ergonomic features. And with regards to fit, well, actually, you know, I've said it already, it shoulders well, it fits well. Yeah, I've given it 3 out of 5 stars for fit. So overall, for ergonomics, it gets 2.2 out of 5 stars. Now, build quality. Well, so again, I'm looking externally at this, and if I look at the action and the chassis, it's, you know, it's been put together well. There doesn't seem to be anything that's kind of shouting at me, except for the gnarly bits of plastic on the end sight there. And, you know, you just get some rough burrs. It can do a little bit of touching up, but the actual stock itself, there are no sharp edges at all. It's been molded very nicely. It's been finished nicely. Yeah, I've got nothing to fall out with there. It's got a nice rubber butt pad at the end. That's finished nicely. There's like a rubber washer between the pad and the stock, so it all fits in quite well. So when I look at the action, the chassis, the barrel, again, I've not tied it. With regards to the bluing, it could be better. You know, I've basically given it 3.5 out of 5 stars for the metalwork. With regards to the sundries, yeah, you know, you've got a nice bag, you've got bits and pieces here, there's nothing to fall out with. It's got to be 4 out of 5 stars for that, it really has. So overall, with regards to build quality, the gun's got 3.7 out of 5 stars. That's a good score. And bear in mind, guys, it's £179.99, so £179.99. It's the entry level rifle, and you get a lot for your money. You really do. The last bit, and I do keep banging on about this, and the reason why it's lost some marks is the positioning of that safety. If you've got gloves, it's not going to be that easy to engage. There is a risk of slipping onto the trigger when you're engaging your safety. For that, it's got 2 out of 5 stars. Please, Kral and any other manufacturer that has their mechanism, safety mechanism within the trigger guard, please take it out from there. You know, when you start doing that, then the scores are going to go up. So overall, got a little gun here. You know, it's not a BSA, it's not an FX, it's not a day state, so it's never going to compare to that level. It's never going to get a score that high, and overall it's achieved 2.8 out of 5 stars. I think, honestly, guys, I think that's fair. You know, you can't expect a rifle at this entry level to achieve the same scores as something that's, you know, in the 600 to 1,000 to 2,000 and more bracket. But it doesn't, that shouldn't detract from how it performs. And I am looking forward to taking it outside. I am looking forward to putting it through its paces. And you never know. Andy might be right at AA GunLocker. It may well surprise me. So I know he's told me that it's a very good seller, and I can understand why. I think I would go for the black, or I would go for the arboreal as opposed to the muddy girl. But, you know, it's choice, and it's there for everybody, isn't it? And that's what it's all about. So, yeah. Well, that's part 1 of this 2-part review over. I hope you'll catch me in part 2. And also, guys, please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe and share amongst your friends and family. It all helps the channel. And again, a big thank you to everybody out there that does support and does watch the channel, because in such a short space of time, we've already accumulated over 4,000 hours of viewing. And that, for me, I mean, it's a milestone that I thought I'd not achieve, at least not for some time. And to get it to get viewing figures or viewing duration to that point in just a few months, wow. You know, so thank you very much. All right, okay, so I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.